Hi, I'm Dan Casetta, and this video is part of Vector's Leadership Academy series. The topic for today is training fundamentals. One of the most fun parts of the job for a Vector manager is running the initial training seminar with new sales reps. We get to take people who in most cases have little or no sales experience and set them on a path to becoming great at sales and so many other key skill areas in life. When I think back to my own initial training, I was both excited and nervous to get started on this job. Had my trainer done a subpar job, I might not have ever started down the road that has kept me with Vector for over 27 years now. Instead, I was given through my Vector experience a chance to build my personal skills, grow financially, and develop into a rewarding career. As trainers, we have that opportunity to make a real difference for the people sitting in front of us on that day one. So obviously, it's important to bring our best to that opportunity. In this video, I want to share 3 simple keys to running an effective training seminar: connection, conviction, and confidence. First, let's talk about connection. This starts before training even begins. The night before training, or at least 2 hours before in the morning, be sure your training room is set up and all your supplies are ready to go. You don't want to be scrambling for anything as people are showing up. Review the list of people who are set to reconnect some names and faces. That way you can confidently greet people by name when they walk in the door. Ideally, get some helpers to be there to help create a welcoming atmosphere for everyone as they show up. During the 15 to 30 minutes before you actually start talking, take a moment to connect personally with every trainee that you can possibly get to. The welcome sheet creates an easy opportunity for you to ask them something about themselves and find something to talk about. Dropping people's names in throughout the day creates a better connection, and it also serves to grab and hold attention. Eye contact is another way to connect with your trainees and keep them engaged. Rather than darting from person to person, learn to hold eye contact for a little longer than might feel comfortable. It's in that 4th or 5th second of extended eye contact that you really make a deep connection. Of course, the biggest key to connecting with your trainees is simply to talk with them one-on-one. Breaks and role play sessions are great opportunities to do this, so make sure you're working during those times. One of the most important traits of a great leader is the ability to be a good finder. Using the information from the interview, the welcome sheets, and your ability to common ground, find things you like about each individual. Look for reasons why they can succeed, and strive to take a genuine interest in each person in your class. The connection you establish is one of the most important keys to running a successful class. The second training fundamental is conviction. By the time training is over, people need to really believe in Cutco and genuinely want to make sales. The first key to this is to get people using the products. At the start of day one, you can have a cutting station with at least some rope and leather for people to cut. If you don't want to supply food to cut, you could always ask your trainees to bring in some items on the second day. Then you can create a cutting station and get everyone involved. Think about the reaction you see virtually every time someone who's not familiar with Cutco uses the products. Wow! Give people a chance to have that reaction throughout training. Now, we won't be able to have people use all the products during training, but you should have as many items as possible out on display for people to see and hold. Especially focus on the items that are fast start prizes when you're explaining our accessories. During a break on the second day of training, have people check out all the fast start prizes so that they are more excited about them. It's also very important to do a great job of building value and explaining prices. Your value awareness section is one of the most important parts of training. We're trying to help people in training relate the cost of Cutco to the many other things that married homeowners buy for their house. Cutco is truly the best product of its kind in the world, and the people who buy it will use it virtually every day for the rest of their lives. So it's an awesome value. And in terms of affordability, a Homemaker Plus 8 on a 5-pay is about the same amount today as most families spend on their standard trips to the grocery store. But college students don't normally get that coming into training, so we've got to do a solid job of explaining the value. Remember that the average family makes about 20 times more income than a student working part-time. So a typical customer spending $1,000 is about the same as that college student spending 50 bucks. That's probably not that unusual for most of the people we have in training. Your enthusiasm for the products is another big key to building conviction. When you're going over the names and uses or showing some of our other items, always have the products out in your hands and let your genuine enthusiasm for Cutco come through. Stories are another great way to build people's want to sell. If you have some good examples of people who bought Cutco from you when you were a rep, share them throughout the training. One of my favorite stories to share in training was the story of selling to my sister. Now, when I was a brand new sales rep at this job, I actually decided not to go show my sister a demo. It wasn't because she wasn't qualified. My sister is 17 years older than me. She was married at the time. She had just bought a house and had a kid who was 3 and another one who was about to be born. But I made a mistake that so many reps make called prejudging the customer. I knew my sister and her husband were not high income, and they had just bought a house and were about to have another child. So the reality is that I didn't think they'd buy. Well, the 8th day of my fast start, I had an appointment with one of my mom's friends cancel out at the last minute. My manager had taught me, when you have an appointment cancel, don't sit and sulk, don't watch television. You are planning to work, so you might as well work, right? So knowing my sister would see me immediately, I called her up and asked if I could show her what I was doing. Sure, but we're not going to buy anything, was her response. I know. Now, my sister is someone who I would consider to be a gourmet cook. When I started showing her the knives, she loved them. Eventually, I got to the end and started showing sets and options, and I arrived at the galley set plus 6. I explained the price and asked, "Did you want to go ahead and get that?" And my sister turned to her husband and said, "You know, Tom, I think this would be a great investment." And my brother-in-law got this pained look on his face, like it was legitimately a stretch for them financially. But after about a minute or two in silence, he said, "Okay, let's go for it." And they got it. They put it on our 3-part pay program, and it might have been a bit of a stretch that day. But 3 months later, it was all paid off. And now, many years later, my sister still has her set of Cutco. And she's got a lot more than just a galley set now. And how often does she use them? Every day. And I'm pretty sure that's the only thing in their house that's truly the best of its kind in the world. Now, there are 2 lessons I learned from that experience. The first one is obvious, not to prejudge. If someone's married over 30 and owns a home, they can get Cutco. The customer I thought wouldn't even buy ended up getting what was my second biggest order in my fast start. The second lesson I learned is the idea that we really benefit people when they buy Cutco from us. Every manager or future manager watching this video has probably had multiple experiences of seeing people who own Cutco and absolutely love it. Our conviction is rock solid. We need to learn to help our trainees develop those same feelings as quickly as possible. Now, the third training fundamental is confidence. Trainees need to feel certain in their ability to do what you are teaching them to do. For this reason, it's very important to keep your training very simple and basic. There's no need to teach advanced techniques in initial training. In fact, it's counterproductive to do so. When I was a new branch manager, I wanted to teach people everything in training. I had reps closing on the knives and the cookware right out of initial training. We didn't sell many sets of cookware to my recollection, and I probably lost some people in the process who could have done well here. When people do something well, it builds their confidence. Even if that something is not the absolute most effective technique for selling Cutco, the key is that they do it well. Once a trainee has confidence, you can start adding layers onto their training. So a good rule of thumb is that you want to teach to a lower end while you're in a group setting. It's not necessary to drop all the way down to the lowest common denominator, but think about trying to teach to about the 25th percentile of your group. Then through one-on-one extra influence, holdbacks, etc., you can always pull up the great ones. Another important strategy for building confidence is to give one-on-one positive feedback to each person during training or through PDI. Walk around during role plays and compliment all the things you see people doing well. On PDI, don't miss the opportunities to tell people the things you like about them and the reasons you see for their future success. These things will build confidence and also strengthen your connection. Last, when it comes to confidence, it's important to provide specific, clear direction on what you expect people to do between each day of training. When you give assignments, slow down and be very clear as to what you expect. Don't give any assignments that are unnecessary or don't really add value. Stick with what's important and be sure that people know what you want them to do. The scheduling section is another time when clear direction is very important. Most people aren't used to making a schedule, so slow down as you walk through their first 3 to 4 days on the job. Use a visual aid like PowerPoint or your whiteboard to help people see how the schedule should fit into place as they are creating it. Connection, conviction, and confidence. There's a lot more I could say about these 3 fundamentals of training. but I think I've given you the most important ideas to consider for now. Your division manager will work closely with you to ensure that you are great at running training. As you watch your DVM or other DMs run training, look for how they implement these 3 fundamentals. Soon you can be great at running training, and you'll be helping dozens, maybe hundreds of people get off to a great start with what could be a life-changing experience for them selling Cutco.